Do a short video of the outside of it. Yeah, buddy, we got a new truck. And it's an automatic. But that's just neither here nor there. It'll be all right. Something new to get used to. Definitely gotta give my reviews on it. I definitely am really excited about the new truck. I'm definitely thankful and grateful for having a new truck. I do miss my old one. But this is the new, and we're gonna make some adventures. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. So, got a couple new things. Got a new truck here. This is Tron 2.0. It is an automatic, but it is a 2024 Kenworth T680. And so far, I'm enjoying it. In the beginning, I didn't really like it because I wasn't really used to it. It's a really nice truck, really clean, smells new, has that new car scent smell to it. Man, it's nice. Got a little different toys to play with on the dashboard. The truck came with 190 miles on it. It currently has 2,433 miles on it. So I've driven it for a little bit. I just wanted to get used to it before I focused on anything else like recording. I wanted to get used to it. It is a fairly nice truck though. So we are currently in, well, we left Whiteland and Cooper Tire in Whiteland, Indiana, and we're headed to a systems packaging company to get live loaded, and then heading to Akron to the terminal, and then from Akron we're going back to Dallas. So it's pretty interesting. This is quite new for me to be in an automatic. It was a couple adjustments. So the way this all came about was, unfortunately, my grandmother passed away, and I needed to take some time off to go down to South Carolina to be there for my family, especially my brother and my sister. And you know, I was getting the rental car and everything set up, and you know, making sure that I was good to go. And right around that time is when I got a message from my driver manager, or I got a call, and he was like, hey, do you want a new truck? And like instantly I just said yes. I didn't ask if it was an automatic or, man, I didn't care. I wanted a new truck because those new trucks, I've been seeing them on the yard, they're pretty nice. And he's like, all right, well, you have to get it today before you leave. I was like, okay, cool. So I went ahead and got the new truck, got my rental car, and started headed down to South Carolina. Got about an hour away, and he's like, hey, did you clean out the truck? I was like, no, you didn't tell me I need to clean out. I was gonna do it when I got back because I need to get to South Carolina. He's like, no, I guess they were gonna sell the truck or something. So I went back, cleaned out the truck, and I realized I have a lot of stuff packed up in this truck. I really moved in, and you know, Tron 1.0 had us going, man. We put a lot of miles, put about 40,000 or more miles on that truck. Really got used to being in a manual, and like I said, this is all new. Thanks, guy. That doesn't change. That definitely isn't new. There are a lot of beeps, like, so with my other truck, if you can see that thing, the Bendix system right there for the side warning for something on the side of the truck, that goes off if I put my signal light on and somebody's over there. And then I have the collision warning system if somebody gets too close in front of me, adaptive cruise control. I have a limiter on here, so if I'm in like a 55 and I don't want to go more than 60, then I can put my limiter on and I'm able to keep my foot on the gas and it won't be an issue. I won't go over whatever mile per hour I set. But yeah, there's a lot of beeps, and that's something I didn't want. I don't like all that beeping, but at the same time, like, I was like, all right, I can deal with it. So 106 West, yeah, this is where I'm going. See what I mean? People being over there. Bunch of. Oh, thank you, guy. Oh, so something else I had to get used to was also how the Jake brakes work in here. So if you guys notice, before I always drove with the Jake brake on, and I still do. But in the manual, the instant I took my foot off of the gas pedal, the accelerator, about a second or two afterwards, the Jake would initiate. In the automatic, I'm finding out it doesn't quite work like that. I have to put just a tiny bit of pressure onto the brake pedal. Come on, guy. I have to put a tiny bit of pressure onto the brake pedal, and then the Jake brakes will initiate. And it's very slight. I mean, just, I don't even feel like I actually press it when it does happen. But, you know, without being trained on this particular truck or anything like that, getting a brand new truck, I still have all right, guys, stay in your lane. I'll get past him. I still have temporary tags on the truck, which not even a tag, just the paper portion over there. Still has a bunch of, I took some of the stickers off the windshield, but it still has one up there from Kenworth. But yeah, there's just a lot. I still have all the paperwork that came for this truck, the owner's manuals. A lot of stuff come with a new truck that I've been sitting around just reading it, getting used to it, because at the end of the day, it's no excuse when you're driving. And it was interesting because I didn't want to record it at all, but that first load I took in the truck, in this truck, was a heavy load. I was about 38,000 pound load or whatever, about 72,000 pounds. I still have the picture, I'll post that up here, of what I had before. And here I was, first time driving this thing, and I didn't like it. I didn't like going down those hills. I was trying to figure out, like, okay, how does this Jake brake work? It's on. When I was at the shipper, I was sitting there watching these videos that are up there on, you know, getting used to the new truck. But I had to do a lot of more in-depth videos because it was such a difference. But yeah, I actually, going home, I thoroughly enjoyed my time at home. It was a beautiful ceremony, beautiful homegoing. And I got to rent a cool, I like renting nice vehicles. So this time, since it was kind of last minute, I went with Hertz. I couldn't find a Turo with unlimited mileage in the area that I was in. I was leaving out of Akron. And so I went with Hertz. And I get there, and he had a couple different vehicles, but he had this, a Jeep Wrangler. And I was gonna say no at first, because he had like a Buick Enclave and something else. I was gonna say no at first, but he was like, it's a hybrid. I was like, yeah, that's interesting. So I post pictures of the Jeep. It was pretty cool. You could take off the top and all of that. But it was a hybrid. Now, in my opinion, was it better on fuel? Probably just a tiny bit. But overall, it was still a Jeep, probably a V8, and it still gas guzzled. And after driving these trucks, it's so interesting to get into a vehicle and go on a long trip, because I was like, oh, it's like 400 or 500 miles. And I stopped twice on the way there. I was just like, oh, that's interesting. I'm used to 400 or 500 miles just pumping straight through. So once I get a chance to stop and I wanted to get a little bit darker so I can give an actual detailed view of the different gauges that have been replaced by the digital gauges, and the different screens that you can scroll through. It's pretty cool, because if you want to, just depends on what you want to look at. I don't know if you guys can see me playing around with it. And then a couple different options that this truck has is a suspension dump, which my last truck didn't have a suspension dump. So that's something different I'm getting used to. Also on the outside, I have those like aerodynamic flares around the tires, and on the lug nuts of the drive axles, you have the covers on there as well. But this whole suspension dump thing, all right, nobody teaches you about that. So I knew about it, so you know, general concept of it. So you know, you pull out a little bit, you unhook the fifth wheel, pull up just a tiny bit so it unlatches. Once it unlatches, dump the suspension, and then you move forward. So that ensures that you're all the way under and the trailer has been lowered. Well, the thing about this truck and my last truck is the actual fifth wheel pulling the pin is different. So my last truck, I pull it right out, boom, it locks out when it's done. Well, I had gotten to Dallas, I had hooked up this trailer, gotten all the way down to Dallas, and let me get over. I hooked up this trailer, got all the way down to Dallas. It was about, you know, middle of the night, so it was dark. And with these new flares under here, it makes it extremely hard to get up under and to pull the fifth wheel release. So I was like, okay, so I was able to pull it, but it wouldn't stay out. So it wouldn't lock out. I'm like, what in the world is going on? So I tried it a couple times, tried to lower the suspension. I tried so many different things, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a nap. Took about a 2-hour break, waited till the sun came up. So it was about 6 o'clock in the morning. Waited till the sun came up, got back out there, watched a couple videos, and then finally just decided to play around with it. And I saw something online that said kind of have to pull it and pull it to the side a little bit and it'll stay. So I did that, and voila, it stayed. And I was like, okay, cool. Then lowered the suspension and pulled out, and that was just different. It was frustrating. I don't know if that's something I could have necessarily found out beforehand. Nobody really gave me a, I'm not gonna put it on nobody else. It's not something that I found out beforehand. It looked like a normal fifth wheel. You pull it out, it gets locked out. So with that being said, I actually am gonna need a fifth wheel puller, because the space is so tight that I can't really get up on. I can get under there, but I foresee, like, you know, inclement weather, getting cold, that thing getting stuck, and I need some extra power, some force to actually pull it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a fifth wheel puller, see if the yard has one. If they don't have one, then I'll just buy one. I'm pretty sure they'll just reimburse me for it, or I'll just buy one so I can always keep it. Knowing with trucking, it's probably gonna be it's gonna be expensive, just for a piece of metal, just for a hook, essentially. But yeah, that was something, learning on the fly. But I've seen fifth wheel hooks before, and I always thought I needed one. I've been hung up on my other a little bit, but just not knowing that this thing comes out and pulls to the side is something that was a lot different. Oh, so I don't know if you heard the sound. I do have lane departure beeps that are also annoying, which I have a button for that. You can turn that off, but I think it only stays off for like 15 minutes. So it's pretty good in like construction areas where the lines are crazy. You're gonna hit the lines, and you just want to get rid of that beeping sound. But for the most part, most of my options are the same. Oh, I do have something different on this truck that's completely different from the other truck. I have a diesel powered APU now, meaning I don't have an electric APU system. So before, my electric APU system, the way the batteries would work on that thing, it wasn't the best. And sometimes, you know, I'd use the microwave or something. There goes the beeping. I used the microwave or something, and it would just short out the batteries. It'd be too low. So now that I have a diesel powered system, after I turn off the truck, I go back and I turn on the APU. It powers all the electronics, so no longer have to run the truck, and I can get sufficient AC and heat as needed. So I definitely like that. I think that's a much better option than what I previously had. All right, we're on. This place is off of Kentucky Avenue, so it's about a mile away. Ah, be quiet. I don't know why. We're gonna be making a left, so I'm gonna stay in the left lane. Oh, I didn't mean for the music to come on. I meant for the GPS. So it's interesting, in areas that you've never been to before, even though your GPS says it, and I mapped this out and stuff, but areas that you've never been to before, it's a very, very safe bet to always look at signs. My first load with this truck, I got to a place out in Youngstown, Ohio, steel plant, and there's two entrances, one for like flatbed stuff, and then the other side for dry van. Well, if you go to the GPS was bringing me to the flatbed side, which was fine. I get to the gate, I go talk to them, they tell me I have to go to the other side. Well, there's signs everywhere that says there's 11-foot one bridge coming up right around the corner. So it was just like I had to back up out of that area and go around, and got to the other side, which was fine. And then once I was leaving the other side, the GPS wanted me to go back through that 11-1 bridge. But what I did was I went inside, I talked to one of the workers there, and he was like, yeah, absolutely, do not take that way. The GPS is saying go down the street and it'll reroute you. So that was good. All right. Oh man, this lane ends. It says both lanes go straight, but this lane actually ends. Thank you, car. This is interesting. All right, so how we're gonna go about this? I'm gonna go over the bridge and make a left, but we're gonna be looking out for signs as well, because it could be taking me to the to the employee side, or it could be taking me to the truck side, and employee side is not gonna be good. But from the looks of it, the first turn should be sufficient enough. Should be down here before the stop sign. Oh man, there's a lot going on. No, no, there's a 10-7 bridge there. We're gonna keep going. Where is this 10-7 bridge? Oh no, that looks very residential. Oh my God, okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. I don't see a truck not enter sign. Well, and that's how the cookie crumbles. It should have took the first one, because the second, or I can go all the way. All right, what are we gonna do? We're gonna turn here. Oh man, this is one of those times I was talking about, to where you don't know what to expect. It says this comes out on the other end. Hopefully it does. This is kind of confusing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up here, pull over, check the map, and find out where this 10-foot tall thing is, and figure something out. Let's see. Oh, okay. We're fine. But we do need to take a second right. Oh, this is so confusing. So that 10-1 or 10-7 bridge is past where I was going, but that warning made me not want to turn down there. I should have saw it when I looked up the place, but it's way after, so it was nothing of significance that I would have even thought to look for, really. But it's gonna be interesting. We gotta go down here and make a right, well, thought I was gonna do that. This signal light on this thing is very loud. got up in here. And now let's not go past the 10-7 thing. So there's no other back roads to get up to where we need to go. It's down here at the end. So we can't make the curve to the right. Just out of the question. I'm glad it didn't come that way, because that's the actual neighborhood. That wouldn't have been... And I will say, nothing has been easy with this new truck. Like, none of my loads so far, like, nothing's just, hey, let's go back like we were running before. No. All right, what is this? Kid Grove. Am I? Yeah, I'm turning here. We're going to Kid Grove. All right.